Hey guys, Shisha here. This is a debut on the channel, but I wanted to cover the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal. Now, just in case you guys didn't know, I'm actually a massive, Nintendo person. I've only covered Bleach content on the channel, but at some point in time, I was thinking about covering Nintendo stuff, but I couldn't find a proper like segue to do that. I didn't want to make a random video talk about like, hey, I like Nintendo XYZ blah blah blah. It didn't feel like a proper segue. So this felt right. Nintendo Switch 2 reveal? Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this console, not gonna lie. So let's just get right into this stuff. Bigger screen. All right. This is a pretty cool graphics. They probably had to do this because the leaks were just coming out left and right everywhere. So at this point, they're like, you know what? Screw it. We'll just show everything. I'm assuming that's the case, or maybe this was always planned. I'm not sure. Thank you for that stand. We needed a better stand for sure. Yes. Yeah. Now the Joy Cons will switch. Oh, they're bigger too. That's also very clean. I like these visuals. Not gonna lie, it's very clean. Yeah, I like these colors, buttons as well on the side. Very neat. Oh my god, Joy-Cons being bigger is gonna be so much better, honestly. Very convenient. Um, yeah, I like this. I like this design a lot. I'm not a huge fan of like the red and blue, like on the side of like the original Switch. But I like they're a lot more subtle in this one. I like this a lot more. Makes a more clean design. And the magnetic Joy-Cons. Yes. Oh my god, this is so sick. Yeah, it looks clean. Absolutely clean. And it's called Nintendo Switch 2. And that's a very interesting name. I'll get into that in a second on why that's very interesting. But by the way, new Mario Kart. We got a new Mario Kart. And it looks great. It looks absolutely great. Mario's model looks different too. Um yeah, look at that. It's so cool. Uh, yeah, it looks like a fairly normal map so far. 2025, which is very interesting. It's coming out this year. That's crazy. Yeah, backwards compatibility expected. And then the Nintendo Direct about the Switch 2 will be on April 2nd. Oh man, everything's this is the classic Nintendo stuff to do. Similar to what they did with the original Switch back in 2017 with I think the reveal of the Switch was in November, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Something along those lines, but it was just a couple of months before they showed like a huge presentation, and I think it was like maybe 6 months, 7 months in, and they just released the Switch in such a short period of time. I'm getting a similar vibe here with their marketing strategy, where we just got the first look right now in January. This is even, I think, a shorter time span. I might be wrong, but it's yeah, everything's just coming in so fast. We're January, and we're getting the more information about it in just a few months. Yeah, like that's crazy. Wow. And the release date is 2025. So yeah, that's gonna be very fast, very very fast. Yeah, things are moving in quite smoothly. So, what do I think about the way Nintendo Switch 2 looks, the design of it, and the visuals? Honestly, I think it looks great. I think it looks fine. In terms of like what will the console do, I think it will basically be, as it says, Nintendo Switch 2, a very appropriate name to what the console is going to be about, which is, I think it's gonna be basically just a Switch, the Nintendo Switch, but more powerful. And honestly, I think that's all it needs to be. Now, the reason why it's called Nintendo Switch 2, this is like one of the first few times where, probably the only time maybe, where they actually decided to use a number for the sequel of a console or something of that sort. But normally they don't do sequels for consoles. Normally, I mean, you have the handhelds, obviously, like Nintendo DS and the 3DS. So stuff like that. But home console, I think the only sequel is like the Wii to the Wii U. So that was a sequel, but it was still like somewhat different in its concept in some ways. But this is like as directly of a sequel of a console as it gets. Nintendo Switch 2 straight up. Now, I know there might be some people that are thinking like, interesting because they didn't go with a completely different name with this. It's because they also didn't want to mismarket what this console is about. And honestly, they don't need to because Nintendo Switch is the smartest, most genius console that they have done so far in Nintendo's history. The biggest problem that Nintendo was facing back in the like 2010s, I would say, the early 2010s, was with the Wii U. Obviously, the handheld market in the home console market was always separated. However, the big difference now is the big difference that why they decided to combine it is because back then when the Wii U came out, and back then it was also the 3DS, they had these two home console and handheld. A lot of people didn't own a Wii U. They didn't want to own a Wii U, right? And you had the handheld consoles, and honestly, one of the greatest games were on the freaking 3DS of all things. All the production value went into that stuff, and the teams were almost like separated in that case. So the handheld market for the Nintendo was going very well, and the home console market for Nintendo was going really bad. So they were thinking about like how do you actually tackle this problem because most of the Nintendo consumers were like handheld consumers, I would say. So, but you don't want to alienate the home console market either, like the people who want to play like hardcore games, right? So they found a genius and smart idea to combine the home console market and the handheld market all in one space with the Nintendo Switch. That was the whole point of it. It's a hybrid console, home console and a handheld, both at the same time. So now they don't have to deal with like developing two systems. They don't have to deal with like the developers being all like separated in their own like consoles and this and that. It's all in one spot in one space. All those people are in one spot. All the audiences, all the consumers are in one place, which is super genius. And it's honestly one of the best Nintendo concepts till this day, to be honest. Yeah, it's just freaking genius. So why why break away from that when you have such a perfect concept for a system that's already there? And already with that concept being genius and amazing, just make a sequel out of it, honestly. There's nothing more that you need to do. Now I know there's some people that are probably like, what about innovation? What about the innovation? Honestly, Nintendo Switch itself was the innovation, right? That's like you want to evolve as a console. Do you really need to do that? I don't believe so. Because I mean, personally, I'm not a huge fan of gimmicks in consoles. I mean, I know Nintendo has been quite massive with like gimmicks related stuff, but you look back on those. I know this is not a popular opinion. This is like my opinion specifically, but I'm not a huge fan of gimmicks. I look back on the history of like Nintendo and playing those Wii games. Now it's not as fun anymore. And I'm not talking about like Wii Sports. I mean, obviously Wii Sport is still fun. You can play it now, but you know, I think about Mario Galaxy or like Skyward Sword, and I go back on those, and it's somewhat like I don't know, dated in the sense where it's a cool gimmick, like to like slash your sword in like certain directions and stuff like that. But I'll be just like, yeah, but let me just play the game regularly. You know, I would rather just play the game regularly. That's just my way, style of playing. Then for Mario Galaxy, like swinging your Wiimote like this, or like aiming the Wiimote on the TV, like it was cool at first, like back then, but in terms of longevity, I don't think it lasts that. Again, it's my opinion specifically. I don't think a lot of Nintendo people would agree on this with me, but personally, I just like to play games the regular way, or at least have that option. That was the thing that pissed me off about the Wii so much is that you were sort of stuck to play one way, like those games, you know. if Skyward Sword had the option to play on a regular controller, I'd be completely fine. Just don't alienate normal people. These, just don't alienate people who want to play games in a regular way. When Zelda games have been mostly played regularly the normal way. So that's my thing about it. And now, why not call it something else? Because now the thing about marketing is people want to play the Switch. I think they're going the PlayStation route in this regard. I think from now on, we're gonna have just sequels upon sequels. I'm assuming. I think Nintendo has established itself finally as what they want to be and what they are. I think the hybrid concept is going to stay with Nintendo. Console slash handheld. I think that stuff is going to stay. It's too genius of a concept, and there's no console like that on the market either. And they're like one of the first ones to do it anyway. So why change? Why fix what ain't broken? You know what I mean? So they have to put themselves in a way where they're unique enough. So they're gonna stay with that uniqueness and just build on top of that. So that's why I think Nintendo Switch 2 is genius, because it stays within that concept and it's just going to evolve on top of that. You know what I'm saying? So we got Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm assuming like the next console even after that is going to be maybe Nintendo Switch 3, 4, 5. So it's going like the PlayStation route in that sense, which is smart because PlayStation, thankfully, their names for their consoles have been fairly decent. It's very simple and clear to understand for the consumer. Nintendo in the past, they have suffered with the whole naming problem with like Wii U, the Wii into the Wii U. People are just thinking that it's an add-on and XYZ. So just keep it simple. Nintendo Switch 2, sequel to the original Switch. Um, Even Xbox has suffered through that as well with like their naming problems. Xbox 360. People thought it was gonna be Xbox 720. Wrong. Xbox One. I remember that whole name, the Xbox One, that whole name debacle was hilarious at the time when it first came out. But you get the point, right? Why try to be extra fancy when you know you could just be simple and clean and to the point with the consumer? And this is very smart way to do it, right? So I think that this console will be pretty interesting in that regard. Um, yeah, man. Oh my god, it's crazy to think that Nintendo Switch, it came out back in 2017. This is one of the longest running like consoles in a while. It's been almost like like eight. It's been 8 years pretty much. Yeah, 8 years. Wow. But yeah, now it's time for the next step. um, Now I haven't checked any of the like crazy leaks. I don't know what the specs are. I know there's a lot of people that are probably gonna know about the specs and stuff like that, but I don't want to ruin myself with that kind of thing too much. But I think like what are my expectations and hopes for the console, just in terms of hardware. Um, I wouldn't even mind if it's 1080p. To be honest, I'm completely fine with 1080p. I think what I would want personally is like, I guess I would want it to be like as strong as at least the base PS4 or something of that sort, right? Like games that are on like the PS4, I mean technically the original Switch can run those games, but in a very rough manner. Like The Witcher 3, they somehow made it work on the original Switch with like the a lot of FPS problems, but you get the point. So in terms of like graphics card and this and that, like I'm expecting, I would say a baseline something like Final Fantasy Remake. Like if this console can run Final Fantasy Remake with like even on like 30 FPS or something like that, but a solid 30 FPS, that I think that's pretty good. It's not a bad thing. It's a single player game too, but yeah. Um, most a steady frame rate, I would say, is biggest priority. I would say solid 1080p and solid frame rate. That's my hopes for this console. I'm not a huge spec guy in the sense where like I'm expecting like super high fidelity. I want like the next gen graphics. Like For now, like I've kind of like dumbed down a bit. I'm not what I used to be like when I was much younger and where like graphics matters so much and stuff like that. But all I care is about it looks decent and it needs to run well. Those are my baseline expectations, you know. And if it can do that, then that's completely fine. If you can run Final Fantasy VII remake with like solid like 1080p or 30 FPS even, like that's fine. There's no frame drops or frame rate problems. Then we're good. That's a very good stand. Very good, much better than the last one. Glad that it's bigger. Bigger screen is always better. Like no complaining there. Sleek design. I love the colors too, like the gray and the red and blue. They decided to install it more on the sides and make it more subtle. That's more neat looking. Man, this is good. So what are my expectations for this console in terms of, I guess, game? Because right now we've seen Mario Kart. They have actually shown it, like a small tease of it. That is probably going to be one of the launch titles for the Switch 2. And how I'm obviously gonna play it. I mean, I like Mario Kart. I don't mind it. I do have a little bit of PTSD for like Mario Kart 8, trying to like get first place in every single map. I managed to do it. I think I managed to do it. I did it on like 150cc, 200cc mirror mode, all that stuff. I did all the cups. So that's partially my fault, right? To be like suffering like that, honestly. But hey, it's a new Mario Kart. I mean, I'm down to play it. It's gonna be like a breath of fresh air for Mario Kart fans too. Uh, personally, personally, I think F Zero needs to come back. Like Mario Kart is cool and all, but F Zero is for the big boys. Real men play F Zero. I'm just saying. Nintendo, please bring that franchise back. It would sell well. People want it. Um, so so they got Mario Kart. You got now. This is my other thing that I'm expecting. I don't know if it's gonna be a launch title, but the most one of the most anticipated titles for me is gonna be the next Smash. Now, the next Smash is probably gonna be the hardest thing to tackle, I think, because we're all going through like some sort of like rough patch right now in the sense where Ultimate has so many characters. Um, yeah, it's like it's never been this big before. My hope is that they don't do like a Smash Ultimate Deluxe. Please, please, please don't do a Smash Ultimate Deluxe. Like, look, all these characters are cool and all, but like but it's clearly quantity over quality, bro. Like, please don't do this. I'd rather have quality again. If you have to dumb down the roster back to like 30 characters from the start, I'll take it, man. But my most important thing that I want from the next Smash is the characters. All of the characters need a new, fresh coat of paint. New coat of paint. That's what they need. I'm not talking about like just graphically speaking or anything like that. I'm talking about moveset wise. You know, Mario's moveset has been the same for how many freaking years, man? And same for a lot of these characters like Samus and this and that. Like, they're outdated. A lot of the characters in Ultimate are very, very outdated, especially the old cast, right? So, yeah, that's what I want. You know how the tagline for Ultimate was what was the tagline? Everyone is here. That's the tagline. Everyone is here. I want the tagline to of the next Smash to be everyone is changed, or everyone is different, or everyone is new. Something like that would be cool. You know what I'm saying? Everyone needs that. I think every character. Just make them up to date, please. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. See, that's the thing too. You got Tears of the Kingdom. The Smash in Smash. If the next Smash comes out, right? You're gonna have Tears of the Kingdom version of Ganondorf. That's also why I want a new version of Smash. Zelda as well. We got the Tears of the Kingdom version of Zelda now. Please, I need all these like freshened up characters in the game. Anyways, so that's my stance on that. Um, what else do I want? I want uh a new Mario game. I wonder if they're gonna do a new Mario game. At this point, a new 3D Mario because Wonder just came out not that long ago. So I think it's time for a new 3D Mario. You know, Odyssey it came out quite a while ago. I think it like what was it 2018? I think it was 2018 or 2019. But yeah, it's been a while now. A lot of time has passed by since the last 3D Mario. So yeah, expecting a new 3D Mario. Probably not gonna be a launch title, but actually it might be a launch title. Who knows? Yeah. So we know at the very least that we got the Zelda game. I mean, came out. Echoes of Wisdom came out, you know, last year. Well, a couple of months ago, in September. But I mean, the next big Zelda is not going to be ready anytime soon. I don't think so. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom, it hasn't even been that long. Maybe they might show like the teaser for the next Zelda. But I'm not sure. Not sure what they might do. But that's gonna be probably the second year or the third year into the Switch 2 life cycle. That's something like that. So, but I mean, yeah, so you got that. Oh yeah, a new Metroid Prime. Yes, Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, I think it's coming out in 2025. They showed like the teaser and everything. So, man, the game is probably gonna look even better now because the footage we saw was probably from the like original Switch, maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah. Sorry, a quick thought back to the. No, actually, don't worry. So yeah, so those are my expectations for this. Um, yeah, man, this is very very exciting stuff. Very very exciting stuff. Can't wait. Yeah, I'll talk more about Nintendo related content on this channel. Specifically, I know at the very least I'll talk about Zelda a lot too. I'm a huge diehard Zelda fan, so I'm thinking of maybe even streaming Echoes of Wisdom. If you guys are interested in content like that, then by all means, I'd be down for that. But yeah, uh, this is very exciting stuff, guys. This is very exciting stuff. Yeah, Nintendo Switch 2, guys. Pretty exciting. Um, Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys on the next one. See ya.